Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie, and we are here to talk about Tim and Brenay. Sometimes it is better to shut up, but I guess everybody just don't believe that. Let's talk about their interview today with Dr. Phil. I wonder if it felt good. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my listening and viewers, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie Advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie Advice. Well, welcome back, everybody. And this is Auntie. And if this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. I don't know if you all remember the story of Brenay and Tim, who live in North Carolina. This is the couple who um, had a lawsuit going on earlier this year. Hold on, let me just make sure I bring up all of the specs, okay? Hold on real quick, y'all. I'm hoping you all had a great day. Um, Okay, I want to just give you all like a briefing before we start talking about it. In 2024, Akira Montage filed a civil lawsuit in Durham County, North Carolina, against a TikTok star, Brenay Kennard, accusing her of having an affair with her then husband Tim, who was also Kennard's manager. The suit cited North Carolina's rare alienation of affection and criminal conversation laws, which allow a spouse to sue a third party for knowingly interfering, right, in a marriage and having sexual relations with a married person. The Durham County jury in late of 2025 found that Brenay was liable, awarding Akira Montage about $1.75 million in damages, approximately $1.5 million for alienation of affection, and $250,000 for criminal conversation after evidence like social media posts, texts, and photos were presented. As you all know, this case drew national attention because North Carolina is one of the few states that still allow such lawsuits to be filed. And it highlighted how a social media documented affair can lead to significant civil liability when it's alleged to have destroyed a marriage. Now, a couple of weeks ago, this particular couple was on, hey Yolanda, they were on Tamron Hall's show. And Tamron just kind of had them on there like really, really brief. No, Dr. Phil went in. He asked the questions that we needed to ask. And some of the things that I found out about this particular case, right, and what was really going on, child, had me looking all kinds of crazy. Had me looking all kinds of crazy. Y'all, when I say all kinds of crazy, I mean all kinds of crazy. I will not be playing the footage because I don't need Dr. Phil or anybody from his network flagging me, but I will be giving y'all play by play or blow by blow on this. I came out with this conclusion, and y'all let me know downtown in the chat. Some of y'all are probably going to disagree with me, but I believe that this girl is too good for him. I believe that she got caught up in a relationship with this man and wanted to flash back to their teenage years. And I just truly believe that she is too good for him. This man has proven to be everything that, in my opinion, all these things in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, this interview proved to me everything that I thought about him. And she's going to find herself on the other side of a rainbow. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know y'all's downtown in the chat. But she's going to find herself on the other side of a rainbow. Sometimes we find ourselves getting into relationships that we know we have no godly no reason to be in these relationships. None whatsoever. And sometimes you find yourself doing stuff that you would not have normally done had you not ran up across a certain type of individual. That's both male and female. And why I know that people are attacking this girl, a matter of fact, I think I did in my last video about them. I'm really now starting to realize how she got caught up in a trap, was unhappy in her own relationship and went to someone that she was familiar with and everything like that, right? And now she is caught up. I really do believe that there is some good in this girl. I really do. I believe a lot of the stuff she's been doing because she's been pressured. She talked on the downside of the interview at the last few minutes of the interview of how she has been being bullied on social media and everything else. And it is just really, really sad. I've been really kind of trying to check myself lately about the things that I am saying and I'm not saying and how I'm saying it, because sometimes it matters not what you say, but how you say it. I think that, we can disagree without, tearing somebody down. Now, that being said, I'm probably going to tear Tim down in this broadcast. I probably am. So without further ado, let me start. Y'all, again, this interview, I believe, was today on the Dr. Phil show. Brenay and Tim, like, is unbelievable. So Dr. Phil asked Brenay, at the beginning of the interview, were you both married? So she said we started seeing each other and we hadn't seen each other in months. Right? He said, but were you still married when you was messing with him? She said, yes, both of us were separated, but still married. So she said he wasn't staying at home when she started having this relationship with him. And he says, but you do have some videos, Brenay, that you did up in their house. She said, yes, I do have some inappropriate videos in his marital home. Now, when she said that, I was like, okay, so we taking some accountability for some of this stuff that you have not been willing to take accountability for before. She said she did some inappropriate videos in the marital home. He said, what was you doing? So she said, wait a minute, let me explain. Dr. Phil shut her down and was like, I don't want you to explain anything until we get some facts. He said, we'll get to your explanation, but right now we fact finding. And I was like, checker. She said she created 2 inappropriate videos She said she was under the influence of alcohol, and she said that's what she told the court. She said, but all of the videos that she did was in this marital home. So he said, well, what did you do? He said, was he separated? She said, no. So Dr. Phil asked her, so did you have an affair with him before he was separated? She said, based on the contents of the videos, no. He said, so you were having an affair then? She says, no, okay. I was just being inappropriate. Brenay. She said she made the two inappropriate things, right, y'all? I'm looking at notes, okay? So if I'm not looking out at y'all, that's because I'm looking at these notes. She said she initially went over there to stay with Akira and Tim because she was having problems in her own daggone relationship. She said so the two of them had agreed that she could come over there and stay. But then she said that she was on the blame it on the right? And I really do believe that the way that I was grown up, okay, the way that I grew up, alcohol give you guts to do stuff that you already wanted to do. It will bring out whatsoever is already in your, it's okay. Whatever you do under alcohol, you would do if you had the boldness to do. That's just my okay. Okay, thank you, Angel Baby. Angel Baby said I ran over here. Welcome, boo. So she said she did one video where she had gotten Tim's phone. When she got Tim's phone, she decided that she was going to go ahead on and make these videos telling him how much she loved him. Girl, again, a drunkard man speak a sober mind. This is what you always wanted to say. You had the opportunity to be in their home because you was going through problems allegedly in your own relationship, and then you gonna come over here with the book. Members, make sure y'all got your notification bells on. We're gonna be talking about Dante London. You all should have a notification in your community wall. Make sure that you got your notifications on, members, because we're gonna talk about Dante London. Y'all know that Negro is out here cheating on his wife. So he got a whole nother woman and flown her downtown to the YouTube. Welcome, Robin. Y'all welcome, Robin. She said, child, this is my first live. I'm going to let y'all know it is too. She said right now she's not in her car. She's sitting in the comfort of her home, but she wanted all to know. Hey, boo, welcome. She said in the second video that she did, she was in the bathroom, fixing herself up. She said Tim came up behind her, walked up behind her, right? She said that when Tim came up on her, she was she started doing a dance for him. So y'all know she was popping it, right? Y'all know she was popping that coochie.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me. You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
She up in the bathroom popping that coochie on this man. What in the whole hell is going on? So she said that this was inappropriate behavior that she put on this man, and she up in the daggone bathroom. He walk up in there. He didn't have no business walking in there. They had already been playing around in your mind. Y'all know daggone well you cheat in your mind before you cheat with your body and your heart. Like you do. Everything starts in the mind. It starts with the mind and in the mind. Everything. So the two of them already had planned on taking this to another level, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, they had already started the affair. The affair starts in the mind. Now we ain't gonna get spiritual out here, but the Bible tells you straight up, whatever happened, happened in the mind first. So she said that, Akira knew that she was having, some stuff that was going on, right? And she said she was doing like "I love you" type of videos. And what I said in the video about my husband, about Tim. She said she stated that this was inappropriate because she was up in the bathroom brushing her teeth, and then Tim came up behind me and did a little dance, and that was the end of the video. So yeah, I made two inappropriate videos. And I'm proud enough to walk in my truth about those inappropriate videos. I don't think she meant that she proud. I think that I just was like, okay, is it ignorance showing? Because why would you be proud to walk in your truth about this? She said, but even though I was popping that thing and I had sent him, these little inappropriate emails, text messages and videos, she said that this don't mean that she slept with him. Okay, girl, okay. She said, I didn't sleep with him. That doesn't mean that I had an affair. Those was just inappropriate videos that was created, which his ex-wife knew about the videos before the lawsuit came out. So when she said that the ex-wife knew about it before the lawsuit came out, I said, that's why the lawsuit came out. Duh. Duh. That's why the lawsuit came out, because the ex-wife knew about the Brenay, things that are going on. One thing leads to another. That's my dog, y'all. I ain't got no man up in here, okay? That's my dog. Acting like she been working on the railroad. Ciao, bye. She said so Dr. Phil was catching her in some okay? He was catching her. He said, but you did have sex with him before, didn't you? She was like, no. I ain't have sex with him before. He was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I thought that y'all was dating each other in high school. She was like, oh, okay. So yeah, in high school. Yeah, we had a relationship in high school. And yeah, we were intimate in high school. So y'all was going back down memory lane. I saw his photograph. It kind of made me laugh. And now I'm sinking fast. Look at here, look at there. Y'all know I be making up my own words, right? So they had already been intimate. And all they needed was time and opportunity, space and opportunity for them to be in the same room together at the same time, doing the same thing. Because why if she got a mother, now so she says that I'm a family oriented person and all that kind of stuff, right? Nick Nap had her give a dog a bone. If she was going through, ain't she tight with her mother and her sister? Why she couldn't go stay with them for a week? Why she got to go over there and stay with Akira and Tim? I'll wait, but I ain't waiting long. So this was the setup. Let me put my setup. Let me put it.
It could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
Okay, that's what it could have been. That's what it could have been, y'all. But we know better than that. We know better than that. Ain't nobody stupid around this mother. You got caught up in a past relationship with your old boo. You circled the block. That's why I don't circle no blocks. She said, yeah, we was intimate in high school, but it didn't work out. And so, me and him, we ended up seeing other people and getting with other people. He shows them an old picture of her and the two of them in high school. She was like, oh my God, that's cringy. Girl, you provided the picture. She said we were madly in love with each other, but it just didn't work out when we was young. So then we went to other people. So shit, so let me clear it up. So back in the day, we was intimate with each other, but not during the course of their marriage. She said ain't nothing happened before he was legally separated. She said so in January of 24. She said, yeah, 2 years ago. So then he started saying, asking her about the lease on the apartment, trying to get the timeline together on when she designated him as the boyfriend and a roommate living in the apartment with her. Dr. Phil said, you signed a lease and you identify him as your boyfriend. So she was like, well, this is where the mix up is. I signed my lease. I never put an emergency contact down. Tim moved in with me, and I would say sometime around September, November, sometime around the fall. And I put him down as an emergency contact because he was my boyfriend at the time. So Dr. Phil, so yes, in the fall of 2023, but in January of 24, according to Akira's attorney, you executed a lease identifying him as your boyfriend back then. She said that wasn't that no, that wasn't a first lease. It was a copy, and then I had an updated lease. So that's why he was named my boyfriend, because at that time he became my boyfriend July 6th of 2024. So Dr. Phil was like, so you went back in the office in July. You went down to the rental office and said, let me have that lease I signed back in January. I want to change it to make him my boyfriend. She said, no, that ain't how I went. I needed to update my lease. So you did a 6 months lease? She said, so my first lease, I had signed it and I ain't had no emergency contact on it, right? So I put him on the lease after he moved in with me. So around September, like I said, fallish is when I added him on the lease as my boyfriend, but not before then. I signed a lease in January, but there was no copy of that lease. They updated the lease because I needed to go to the lease office. So that's why it's on the lease. But of course, it was fun to the point. Girl, ain't nobody spin no story. It was inappropriate, just like them daggone pictures and them videos that you put out of them up. Okay? You just got caught in the bull. You wanted that man when you was in the girl's house staying. You wanted that man. But I'm gonna tell you right now, no matter how bad Brenay is, wait till y'all hear about Tim. The book Tim was talking about doing the Dr. Phil interview. That's why I said she's too good for him. Even in all her mess and her foolery in the career of it all, she is too good for him. She's a woman that's gonna hold it down and pay $1.75 million for some peen. But she gonna hold her man down. She gonna lie. She gonna do whatever she gotta do. And there's a lot of women and a lot of men that's doing it too. You right about that, see, Paul. Akira crazy too. Because you don't never let no, you know what? You ain't gonna be up in here milking two cows. This is a one cow household only. Period. And that's on period. That's on period. She said Tim was legally separated on March 5th. She said, and then she filed a lawsuit against me in May. And then in August, Akira and Tim, they got a divorce. And then in March of this year, you and your husband filed for a divorce. She said, and then in September this year, you married. So they said they got married on 9/11. Who does that? And he said, so then you got the verdict against you for 1.75. He said that had to be a shocker. She was like, it was. And he said, and you the what? The lawsuit was against you, right? She was like, yeah, not Tim, right? Girl. Then they bring Tim out. The first question Dr. Phil asked was a question that has been going on social media. Did y'all work together? Tim said, no, we never worked together. And he wanted to make sure he cleared the record on that. She says she has been a TikTok influencer for 5 years. Before then, she was a substitute teacher. They never worked together. He asked Tim, what do you do other than sit up here with the scully on looking stupid? He said, I have a fitness program. I'm a personal trainer. Bitch, I know you got to be lying with his body all jacked up like that. This don't look like a body of a fitness instruction. What is he telling me? How to lift hostess ho-hos? Twinkies? Is he trying to show me how to get to the middle of a Tootsie Roll, bitch? What is he trying to show me with this body like this? He always looks becoming. He look bummy. He don't look well kept. He don't look like no fitness instructor that I would ever go to with my fat. Now, if I'm going in there to try to find out how to stop sucking on ice cream, Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars, then you know what I'm saying? He ain't the one to go to. But if I want to know how to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, like I said, I'm going to go to Tim. If I want to know who got the coupon going on for that day for a 2-for-1 deal downtown to the Dunkin' Donuts, then I'm going to Tim. But if I want somebody to teach me how to lose some weight, turn my jelly into jam, I'd be damn if I'm going to Tim about it. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. And it is what it is out here in these streets. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Make sure when you walk up out of here, you hit that hype button. Okay, y'all did a great job on the hype button. Y'all, thank y'all. Oh, lying mother. She said he asked me to be his girlfriend on my actual birthday. Then he went to start asking this Negro about the marriage. He sits up there and says, Brenay was up in the house when I was having the problems with Akira. She was a referee from during a lot of the arguments, and she was there to soothe the babies. She knew that I was living in a toxic environment, so why she come stay for a week? If she knew you was in a toxic environment, you lying mother. So Dr. Phil asked him, so how you get with Akira? Did you love her? No. Y'all, he sat there and said he never loved that girl. He said he came from a impoverished family. He never had nothing, never been nowhere. He started dating Akira, and then he ended up moving in with Akira. He said that the parents told him they was struggling because she had some roommates and right. And so he said that the room they was having problems and Akira needed to move out. He didn't have nowhere to go because he didn't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of. So he decided, the parents told them, y'all can live in the household with us. We'll pay y'all room and board. Y'all won't have to pay no rent or do nothing else. But you got to get married. So Dr. Phil said, so you married it, so he married her to have a heart and a cot and a pot. He married her to have a roof over his sorry a head. And that's why he with Brenay, in my humble opinion. This month ain't never had nothing. He said he never loved her. He never cared about her one tiny bit. What is this on my glasses? Daggone coat be peeling. My little jacket be peeling. Did I get it? Now I got fingerprints on it. Got hit that thumbs up button, y'all. He used her the whole entire time. But then he gets down to the bottom of the interview, almost at the, when I say the bottom, I mean like the end. He gets down to the end of the interview and says she was the one that was manipulating him. Unk, you big baby Huey, need a diaper and a bottle. Mother, excuse my French. He ain't about nothing. And if Brenay don't think that she's the next person in line, she is sadly mistaken. I don't care. This month will show you right here that he don't care nothing about no wedding vows. He gonna do whatever he gotta do. He married Akira, according to him, to have a roof over his head. And he ain't by himself because it's a whole lot of women and men that do the same exact thing. They ain't gonna go out here and get it in the mud. They ain't gonna go out here and grind for it, but they'll grind for your or they'll grind and hustle you out your but they ain't gonna go out there and grind and hustle for their own. And he was saying this stuff with his chest. He was not scooting around it. He wasn't making no excuses for it. He just was straight up saying, I ain't give a about her. So all that time she was in a loveless relationship. So Dr. Phil asked him flat out, so how you end up having a baby? Don't y'all got two kids? He told me some, yeah, we got two kids. He said, so how you end up having the two kids? Let me tell y'all what this said about Akira. He said that he was making, having sex with her because he won't making love. And when he walked out the room, he walked out the room for something, okay? Smelling all bad and everything, all fat, and probably had lint all up underneath his stomach. Honey, he'd had to, Auntie, stay focused. Because I know y'all see I am about to get unfocused. Like I'm okay, I'm just ready to just cuss through the whole rest of this video. But YouTube told me to pipe down, Auntie. They said, Auntie, we need you to stop cussing through these videos. That's what we need you to do. I said, okay, YouTube, I am going to try. Can I at least bleep myself? Can I self-edit myself, YouTube? Because I be wanting to cuss these out. That's why I got to give me a Patreon so I can go out there and just cuss all the way. It's all the way live. It's all the way live. So y'all, let me tell y'all what this mofo said. So he said, so how many kids you got? He said, we got two. He said, okay, so he said, so how long you was separated from him? He said, we've been separated for 5 years. He said, why you marry Akira? He got a backstory on him. We started dating around 2018, and I always grew up on the struggle bus. Cause I wasn't about nothing in 2018. I ain't about nothing now. He said, there was a situation with her roommates and everything. And he said, so how did you get two kids together? Her dad told us that we could live with them if we have a baby. I mean, if we get married. He said he was under the impression that she ain't had nowhere to go, but they moved in with her parents. So it's obvious she had somewhere to go. He said so she moved in with her aunt, and then her aunt had all these foster kids, and they all had their own rooms and stuff like that. He said so she couldn't go back home. He said so Dr. Phil asked him, so was this a marriage of convenience? Guess what he said? 100%. 100%. He married her for convenience. Brenay. Brenay. Do I got a knocker on here? Because I need to. Brenay. Brenay. I'm trying. Brenay, you in trouble. You are in trouble. Because this is out here lying like he was with her for convenience. What he with you for? Or do he just like women who breasts hang low? Do your breasts hang low? Do they drag to the flow? Do your breasts hang low? Her breasts don't even look real. So why is he with her? That thing be swinging, she get to thinking, and I'm because it's jumping. They swagging and dragging and all this. You think that man really is attracted to her? I don't mean no harm. If you got big breasts, I don't mean no harm. I ain't talk about you. I'm talking about Brenay. Them breasts is on the ground. This man ain't attracted to Brenay. Ain't no way you gonna tell me he attracted to Brenay. You ain't gonna allow it. I'm not gonna allow it on this YouTube channel. He don't like that girl like that for real, y'all. Like for real, dead ass. He don't like her like that. Let me get back to what I was saying, shall I? He said it was a bad decision. So Dr. Phil asked him again, so why would you have children with somebody if it's just a marriage for convenience? If it's just a rent thing? He said, well, it was a terrible thing to get married and then, had two children with her. But let me tell you what she did, Dr. Phil. Like, I had sex with her, right? When I walked out the room and I came back in, she was laying up with her legs up in the air. Dr. Phil was like, what you mean? He said she was like up on the headboard and everything. And she was, laying there with her legs up so the pregnancy could take because she couldn't get pregnant no other way. So why you ain't have a raincoat on then? If you didn't want a baby, you didn't want none of that. Why you ain't do something to protect yourself? If you really didn't want a baby, why would you? So now it's Akira's fault that she had the first baby. He don't have no responsibility in that. That's Akira's fault. That ain't his. He ain't got nothing to do with that. So Dr. Phil said, okay, so how she had a second one? He said, because, she was outside in the store and she fell. Dr. Phil said she got pregnant. She fell down and got pregnant. And Brenay is talking to this man. Like, how is she talking to him? He sat there and said she fell on the ground and she was pregnant. Dr. Phil said, I hate when people fall down and get pregnant. He said, no, I ain't mean it like that. I was saying, that's how we found out she was pregnant. You stupid. This man sat up there and admitted that he is a serial cheater. He said when he came back, she was standing on her head with her back against the headboard, just sitting upside down to make sure that the first pregnancy took. And the second one, they found out she was pregnant. He said he was living on campus. So when she fell down, that's when he found out she was pregnant. So Dr. Phil said, now, according to Tim's ex wife complaint, she says the marriage was loving and that she was a devoted wife. Now, nobody has a good day, but she says that she was in a loving relationship with you, Tim. He said that y'all was in a loving relationship, just blindsided her. Because later on, Brenay said that Tim was dating and cheating with other people, so why she pick on her to sue? Dr. Phil asked him, was he faithful? He said no. He said, how many women was you with? 20, 10, less than 20, less than 10. This month said less than 20, like 10. Like, and Brenay's sitting there taking it all in. And you don't think that this going to be you one day. You don't think that this man is going to leave you with a $1.75 million debt. And he has already proven, in my opinion, by his own admission, that he cannot be faithful. So what makes Brenay think that there's something different or special about her? That's the problem with a lot of people who are in these relationships with these somebody else's husband and somebody else's wife. You think you different. That you have something different to offer. Oh no, it's not him or her. It's the other person. No, sweetie. This man, when asked by Dr. Phil, said that he was just in relationships. He tried to allude to the fact that he won't doing nothing with him. And Dr. Phil was like, come on, man. Who the you think you Brenay girl, you in trouble. You gonna have to look around every corner, every rock, in my opinion, to be in a relationship with this man. Because he married someone to have a roof over his head. That's desperation. That I mean, like there's no way in hell. Been there, done that, living with somebody, never again. You keep your place, I'm gonna keep mine. If we decide that we're gonna get married when we turn 80, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But ain't got that to do. It ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it. I got to feed him and put a roof over his house. I mean, over his head. didn't put a roof over his head. I ain't got that to do. I ain't got that to do. Um, he said that she had made an attempt for them to get together, right? Before they split up. Akira was trying to go to marriage counseling. He refused to go. She said, let's work this out. And he said, I ain't interested. He said she made several attempts to reconcile, but it was over for him. He said he felt like he was in the relationship because she was manipulating him when he was the one who manipulated her to believe that he loved her. This is my opinion. He was the one that manipulated her to make her think that he loved her, and he never did. He asked Brenay, now you said, why is she picking on you? Brenay said, because his other girlfriends, why is she suing them? She said, Tim cheated on her multiple times, and she never felt any type of alienation of affection. So what is it about me? It's always my question. So he cheats, Dr. Phil said. You a serial cheater. Why pick her out the crowd, allegedly? So Dr. Phil asked him straight up, so you have allegedly cheated with other women? He said, yeah, yeah. But I wasn't like unfaithful. But I didn't like physically go and do all that other stuff. That's when Dr. Phil asked him overall, would this be more than 10 or 20 women? Less, he said less than 20, less than he was like, well, guys, less than 10 actually. I mean, like less than 10, yeah, less than 10. He says he didn't sleep with anyone during the course of his marriage. He said, yeah, I would just entertain him. Dr. Phil said, oh, you must be a hell of a conversationalist. He was like, I mean, I'm just saying, well, like I had a lineup, a bunch of females. He said, so you would just hit them up and just communicate with them? Dr. Phil said, so you had the discipline to chat with them and not do nothing with them. He said, or was you afraid that you would come into the room and somebody else be upside down? He said there was no recovery. Daggone well he was cheating. They showed a video of a TikToker who was talking about how proud she was about of Akira, that Akira did file what she needed to file. I've been honestly side out and Akira myself. He asked her whether or not she regretted not having an attorney. Do she believe that if she had an attorney, she would have won the case? Y'all know what she said. I don't know if she think this is like a quiz for SAT. Were you supposed to say the right thing, even though you don't believe it? Brenay said, no, I feel like I learned from it. I don't need to have $1.75 million debt to learn. She says she does not regret because she learned from this. How to lose $1.75 million, how to be in debt for the rest of your life, how to have your garnished wages, your wages garnished, because they gonna get their money, boo. They gonna get their money. They not going to hop off of you. And I believe that this attorney is going to use you as an example. You went viral, young, for paying $1.75 million for a piece of peen. Make it make sense. This don't make sense. But okay. All right. Okay. Okay. She's been talking about the cyberbullying and the things that people have been saying to her. And I think it's sad. I don't think she needs to be bullied. She's already made an example of herself. But I think that sometimes we're so outraged by things that we can't help but just call people out their name. She really started talking about that, and you could see she started crying. And Dr. Phil, regardless of how he felt, Tim says that he believes it's easy. Brenay and Tim said they believe it's easy to make someone a villain when you know you want to hide from taking accountability. They said it's a lot of things that that happens behind the scenes in their personal lives when it comes and still comes to Akira and the children. They said that they can't say much and won't say much, but it's still a lot of things that's going on. They said they feel like there's no reason for the bullying. And he said, why do you think, Dr. Phil asked him, why do you think you guys get a pass? Because it's typical guy behavior to just cheat and do all of that stuff. Dr. Phil brought up the fact that there was 700 pieces of evidence in the case. He says some of it he's seeing, he's really curious if they are having a relationship that is legally that he was curious about the relationship and whether or not it was a legal marriage. Y'all say that y'all was divorced and that the other people, all of the things have been severed. And then he asked him about the kids and why would they go public on social media about their relationship, especially when it's children that are involved in this situation. Brenay's reason was that as an influencer, she posts her life, and she said, and she regrets that. She regrets posting about their relationship so soon. But I don't post my life like that. He asked her about the kids and posting of the kids, and she says she always gets permission before she posts the kids and stuff like that. And for some reason, I do think that I remember seeing a video where Akira wasn't cool with it, or either I heard it somewhere. Again, y'all, she says she does not regret representing herself. She said, honestly, it was an experience and it was a wild one. She said she learned a lot during this trial. And Dr. Phil said, well, it was pretty expensive. And she said they just flat out could not even afford to pay for it. Sometimes people circle the block, right? They go back. Let me see how what notes I have down here. She said, hold on, because he kept saying you slept with somebody else's husband. She said, I love my husband. I love those two babies that come with him. She says, I'm just a family oriented type of person. And Dr. Phil asks, and do you acknowledge the problem was you loved him while he was still somebody else's husband? She said, well, not necessarily separated, but somebody else's husband. She says, I've always had love for Tim, but never romantic feelings for him until we got together while he was still married but separated. Legally married, yeah, but separated. Legally separated. She said, once you separate from someone and you're not going to sleep with them anymore and you're not in their home, in a home with them, I don't see that as being a bad thing. But just because you did not see it as being a bad thing does not mean that it did not cost you $1.75 million. $1.75, and I don't see them lasting a month and year. That's my opinion. I do not see them lasting a year. And she's gonna be unfortunately left holding the bag. If I could give y'all any piece of advice, because I am Auntie's advice after all, love is not complicated. It don't come with a whole bunch of ifs, ands, and buts. It just doesn't. When somebody loves you and loves you the right way, there's no guilt when you get up in the morning and none when you lay down. There's nothing you have to question. You got to be asking yourself about things you're second guessing. If you got to second guess a month for one day, male or female, you're in the wrong relationship. It's one thing if one of your friends or family members got a hateration and they're telling you something is wrong in this relationship. Then you should keep, your eye on the situation and be like, okay, that's your opinion. But when a whole lot of motherfuckers is telling you that your situation is wrong, it just might be wrong. See, because the tree is known by the fruit that it bears. Tim, Tim, by his own admission, said that he got with Akira because he didn't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of. What pot did he have and what window did he have when he went to Brenay? Or is he living up in Brenay's camp? Brenay told Dr. Phil he living in her apartment. A real man worth his salt in the earth ain't gonna just come lay up in your joint. He gonna have his own joint, and y'all gonna have to make a decision. Y'all gonna have to do permission slips to be able to stay at each other's house. Women, y'all gotta be wiser than this. Men and women that don't have nothing, honey, you ain't nothing but another challenge and some more pray for them to stay. You pray for the stay. He came out here and said the only reason he was with that woman, that he is now the father of two of her children, is because he grew up poor. And I'm gonna tell you, when a person ain't got nothing, they don't have no boundaries. If you think you're being used, y'all, if you think you are being used, that is the earth telling you you're being used. If you think it's too good to be true, that is the earth crying out. It is too good to be true. Love doesn't fail. It don't hold on to wrongdoing. And love conquers all. And if you are finding yourself in a situation where love ain't love, and love don't need to be love, and love ain't acting like love, get the out while you can. It's time for us to wake up and not make things about what it is that we want, but we got to be able to deal with what it is. This mofo don't like me. He always driving my car, coming back late. If a man got to drive your car, I may have to get some lessons out here, because if he got to drive your car, leave that alone. If he got to stay at your house and he ain't got no house to get his up and go to, don't make excuses for him, women. Get rid of him. And even if you love him enough to make them grow up or go back to his mother. Anybody got time for that? Anyway, y'all, it's the truth, and it may not feel good. It may not feel good in the beginning, but it will in the end. If it don't feel right, y'all, it's not right. And it ain't never right to be with somebody else's husband or wife. In this particular sad story, this is what it is. So, members, I'm gonna take a break. I will meet y'all in the membership, but we're going to be talking about Dante London. Dante London, as you all know, is a content creator downtown on the YouTube. He got married to this girl, Hannah. Child, the YouTube channel blew up, but everybody had their side eye on him. And we're going to talk about the results of the side eye that's been on Dante London downtown in the membership. Give me 15 minutes. Thank you, everybody who's here. I appreciate y'all being here and sharing this time with us. I love y'all. And for more hot topics and trending news, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you don't, Ray Della gonna get y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, Ray Della gonna get y'all. I love y'all until we meet again. Y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.